Hi, everybody. So I'm going to talk about Anna, who is one of my clients through Shanti, who I do care navigation with, which is LG. I do care navigation for an LGBT seniors and adults with disabilities program. So Anna is a 67-year-old Nicaraguan cisgender woman who identifies as a lesbian. She speaks her first language is Spanish, but she also speaks English really well. Not quite fluently, but really, really well. Like I said, she identifies as a lesbian, though she's not currently in a relationship. And as far as family of origin, she does have some family that lives in San Francisco, but she also has indicated that she's really distanced from her family, and she says it's because of who she is as a lesbian, that she doesn't have as close of a relationship, and that she was kind of shunned from her family. Though I know that she does have a sister, a nephew, a goddaughter, who live in San Francisco, who she sees occasionally and provide her with some support, though not super consistently. In terms of traumas and losses, so our relationship is not necessarily a therapeutic one. I do provide some emotional support, but I'm not a therapist. So while we talk about different things, I can't say that I have all the information. We've also only been working together for about a month, so I'll report what I have. So some of the losses and traumas that she's reported to me are the death of her longtime girlfriend who passed away about 10 years ago. Some incidences that have happened. She was indicating a situation that happened in the 80s where when she was drinking very heavily, it sounded like there was some traumatic incidences that happened due to excessive drinking. Um, Another thing that she has talked about is just the immigration process and coming to the United States from Nicaragua and like a longing for her country. And then let's see. Yeah, the main thing I would say is the loss of her partner who died 10 years ago is a thing that seems to elicit the most emotion and that she speaks about the most. And then the thing that causes her the most stress right now is she has two cats that are very old that get sick a lot, and this is a constant fear of hers that I think that they'll pass away or become really sick. So let's see. In terms of diagnoses, I can't say that I know what her diagnoses are. She does have some medical conditions like diabetes and arthritis, and some mobility issues. I think she is on disability. I know she's seen a psychiatrist and a therapist in the past, and that it might have been for sleep issues, but I don't know any specific diagnoses. Some of the interventions that she's had in the past include, I believe, seeing a therapist in the past, some medication for sleep in the past, and she also attends an LGB, like lesbian, gay, bisexual women support group that happens twice a month in the local senior center when she's able to physically get there. I think I'm not going to give her a diagnosis because it's not within my professional scope with the relationship that I'm in with her as a care navigator. So I'm going to skip that. So in terms of relationships, the most important relationships in her life right now are with her two cats. They really provide her a lot of support as well as a lot of stress because of how old they are and that they get sick. I'm going to show you an eco map. I hope you can see it. It's probably going to be backwards. But the cats, the support services that she accesses, her biological family, which she has some relationship with, though they do also provide her a lot of stress. This is the women's support group. She attends occasionally. Her house is the thing that provides her, is a constant in her life, but is the most stressful thing. And I will talk about that in a second. Her neighborhood, which I think she has some support in, but is also pretty stressful for her. And then another relationship in her life that causes her a lot of stress is her landlord and the landlord's boyfriend who intimidates her a lot. At the bottom is a timeline, which you also can't read because it looks like it's backwards, but I don't have much information as far as a timeline, so I included what I could. So in terms of the person and environment fit, I think her environment is really hard on her. Her building is not accessible. She lives around a lot of people that stress her out, that she can't sleep very often. I think San Francisco is a hard place to live as a low-income, fixed-income senior immigrant. I think it's pretty stressful in a lot of ways, but she's lived here for a long time, and in a lot of ways she does also feel like it's home. Okay, so the presenting issues In our first meeting, what she really wanted was support around taking care of her cats. She also wanted support with housing, support with her medical appointments, obtaining a therapist and a psychiatrist, and resources for food and groceries because often she'll go without eating because she doesn't have a place to cook or access to food all the time. And she also sometimes needs basic like emotional support for the stress that she deals with. In terms of risk assessment, nothing serious has come up in terms of like risk, like a harm for herself or others. So we have not done one of those. And the main area of intervention that we're working on is around the risk of isolation, because as an LGBT senior living in San Francisco on a low and fixed income, like I said, that's very stressful on her, and also living up 3 flights of stairs, mobility issues. It keeps her from accessing services. Um, it keeps her from being able to be connected, and she doesn't have the same level of support from her family as she might if she was heterosexual. Um, this is the main area that we work on, is just making sure she's connected to services, especially as she gets older, as her ailments increase, or she has continued issues with mobility, that she has practical support. And then eventually, once we hopefully get her into better housing and more support, to also provide her with more emotional support. And the theoretical framework that I'm working within is the Shanti model, which I'm not going to explain a lot, but it's similar to case management, but it's a lot more based on kind of a peer-to-peer relationship, and less of a hierarchical case manager. You're the person who needs the service relationship, and we provide both emotional and practical support to our clients, though we are in no way therapists in this model. And in the conclusion, I do feel like she is a really resilient, incredible woman who has an amazing sense of humor, very resourceful. She seeks out the support. She's reliable in many ways. She does the best she can, and that really we need to get her her basic needs met so that she can get more mental health care eventually. And I do think that Anna would agree with most of the things I'm talking about in this presentation, because these are things that we've discussed together, especially around the goals and what she wants to achieve from this. So I feel like more or less she would probably agree with my assessment. Okay, this is getting too long, so thank you guys. Look forward to your comments.